Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. My name is Mobby, and today we're going to be talking about a new deck list for the Red Monkey D. Luffy STO1, the very first leader to ever come out. Now, this is an OPO5 version. If something else changes, I might do another video, but this is one that I've been running recently. I really like it, and I hope you enjoy. The theme here is Straw Hat Beard. So it's like half and half Whitebeard Pirates and Straw Hats, and I think it's pretty fun. So let's talk about the leader, the play style, the events, the 2Ks, the blockers, the attackers, and then the utility. Let's start with the leader. So obviously this is of course just Monkey D. Luffy. Very solid red. Because it's mono, you get more health. 5,000 can attack, and his ability is really powerful when any time. It doesn't matter if he is rested or active. You can grab any of your rested dons and give it to somebody else, so you can activate a lot of things that way. Really good leader. Let's start with the utilities in this deck. So we are running a good amount of searchers. So we're running 4 of these Nami searchers. You can get them from ST10. They were really hard to get for a while, but now that they reprinted it, you can easily get them. I don't remember if it's 4 in one of the decks. If it's 4, that's pretty good. But you can always buy 2 ST10s. I really highly recommend it, so you can get a lot of the extra cards that they only give you 2 or 3. Sometimes 1, right? But anyway, Nami. Look at the 5 top cards. Look for a Straw Hat. So everything in this deck is going to be either a Straw Hat or it's going to be a Whitebeard to enable the searchers so we can get more consistency. You will miss, now and then, but very rarely. I've been playing this deck a lot. Really happy. So I'm running 4 of these to search for Straw Hat Pirates. Next up on the utility, I'm running 4 Ezos. This is the same thing as Nami, but it works for Whitebeard Pirates. Now, these searches are particularly powerful, though you can't reuse them over and over again. It does have 2k damage for attacking and 1k just in case, like late game, you need to block something. So these things are really good. Once again, just 4 searchers. And for the last 2 utility, I'm running these 2 Namis. I usually like to run at least 3, but I kind of had to tone it back a bit, just like to balance things out. But I think this is a really powerful card. Really hard to get rid of from your opponents because you don't usually ever have this rested. If they can somehow KO it, then hey, they're using resources for it. But activate once per turn, give it to 1 rested Don, to one of your leaders or characters. So yes, it's the exact same ability as the leader. So you can drop down like a 10 drop, and then you can use Luffy's ability. And if you have 2 of these on the field, you can put 3 of those Dons on something else, So it's really powerful. So those are the utilities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 utility cards, which is kind of a lot, but this deck, it's working out for me. All right, now we're going to talk about the attackers, the bread and butters, the ones that are going to win you the game. Now, we have a good spread from 3 drops all the way to 10 drops in this deck, and we'll start with the 3 drops, which are the Zoro Rush. Now, remember, this is not ironclad. You can feel free to add 3, 4, or maybe even remove cards altogether to fit your playstyle. This is just the version that I'm currently running. It changes all the time. And anyway, this is Rush Zoro. Very easy to find. A couple of months ago, pretty bad, right? But once again, with ST10, these are widely available, pretty easy, so powerful. It does not have a 1k counter, but it has Rush. And because it is Straw Hat, it's searchable here. So I'm running 2. Feel free to run around 3 though. Now, next up, we have Speed Gel. So just counteracting a Straw Hat with a Whitebeard Pirates. 561. It's a vanilla card, but it's a pretty powerful one. And I kind of want to use it just to have a low-cost card that's searchable, but also it's just really good in the deck. So I'm running 2 of these as well. Next up, the pretty powerful one. So we have a 5 drops Marco. These things were recently banned. Very limited. So now you can play up to 4. I'm running 3 in this deck. On play, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 or less. This deck in particular has a couple of cards that lower the cost of your opponent's characters, but not many. This is still good in general because, maybe they play consistent searchers, a sugar on the field. It's just good in general. And you may trash 1 event from your hand if you are... No, actually, this is just all the time. You may play this character from your trash rested. So yeah, it's a good way to come back. Marco. Running 3 of them. Next up, pretty much a card that might win us a lot of the games here. These are Monkey D. Luffy 5 drops. You get it from STO1. Rush 5/6, no counter. And when you add 2 Dawn on attack, they cannot activate blockers during this turn. Very good way to end the game for the most part. running 5 of these. Sorry, running 5. I say 5 because of this. Running 3. And then, here we go. The late game boss monsters. Recently banned, limited, no more. I'm running 3 Edward Newgate cards. Play up to one of your leader gets 2,000 power until the start of your next turn. You know, there was a reason why they were recently limited but out here now. Because, you know, it's strong, but now the meta has changed. You know, Black Blue Sakazuki is good. Yellow Onell's crazy good as well. So this can keep up with them. But yeah, and you cannot add cards to your life using your own effects during this turn. The only card that this kind of combos with that effect is actually just right here. You can see the 2k Sanji. But yeah, if they don't get rid of it, then you're going to be able to KO 3,000 power less blockers on the field, etc. But the most important thing this character has is the 2k plus. It enables your leader to attack more, and it protects you. So I'm running running 3 of these. And for the final boss monsters in my deck, it's the new ST10 Monkey D. Luffy Rush. 11,000 damage, Rush, once per turn. When your opponent activates a blocker, KO up to one of your characters with 8,000 power or less. Now you have to be really careful while using this. This is not an on-attacking thing. So you can actually not even use him, have someone else attack, and if they activate a blocker, you can KO that blocker. But it can work against you as well. If you attack with them and they activate a blocker, you cannot KO that blocker to continue attacking. So, you know, you have to kind of play a little bit around it, but so does the opponent. So those are the attackers of the deck. Let's see how many they are. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16. I usually like to run 18 to 22 attackers, but remember we have a ton of utility cards that will search for a lot of these. So, you know, if you have searches in the deck, I don't really mind having a little bit lower cost. So let's go for the blockers. These things are going to keep you alive. Okay, so we're running a good amount here. We'll start with 4 Fosas. Nothing fancy. They enable you to, you know, they enable you to keep using the Marco here to bring back the Marco by trashing this card. And it's a good searcher, and, you know, it's a basic blocker. So we're running 4 Fosas. Next up, we're running some Tony Choppers. Man, these guys are super annoying, but really good in a pinch. The only downside is no 1k counter, but dude, if it's one, you're usually gonna have no problem just throwing it out there as a 1 extra mana for the most part. I'm running 2 of these, but you should probably run 3 to 4. Okay, next up we're running the 4-drop blocker Marcos. Very, very powerful card, annoying in its own right. So as a blocker, has a counter, has good damage if we need to use it. On KO, trash any card with a Whitebeard Pirates, which once again, the extra Fosa, we can be used for that. If you have 2 or less life cards, and that's super important, you have to allow yourself to get hit for this to work. Play this character from your trash rested. Pretty good. So those are the blockers, and we're running, I believe, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. 7, 8, 9, 10 blockers. Okay. Next are the 2k counters. Usually run, I don't know, 8 to 12. That's the average, right? So the first thing we are running is 3 of these Sanjis. Now remember, all 2k counters, you don't necessarily have to be using their ability. As long as you got 2ks in your deck, that's good enough. But if you can somehow synergize it with the current theme you're going, that's even better. And yeah, this is pretty niche. It only works with Whitebeard, unless you want to really use it on your own. Add 1 card from your life to your hand. So yeah, you can use the Whitebeard effect for that, right? This character gains 2,000 power, then give it up to 2 Rested Dawns. So it goes up by 4,000 up to 7,000. So pretty cool, running 3 of these. Next up, some Jinbeis. Now, give up to one of your opponent's characters negative 2,000 during the turn. You're not usually going to use it for that, but they're searchable. So I'm running 3 of these, 4 of these, and then 3 Brooks. On play, give up to 2 Rested Dawns to your leader or one of your characters. Now, honestly, now that I'm looking at this, I kind of want to make it more Whitebeard. So actually, you could replace some of these. Like maybe you can get rid of these Brooks and put in Jozus that have the rush for the White. Actually, no, that's Whitebeard leader. That's why I'm not running those. Never mind. But there might be other 2k counter that you could run, but definitely not Jozu because your leader has to be Whitebeard. But yeah, this is pretty cool. There you go. And then other than that, you know what I'm thinking? You don't have to run Luffy. There's nothing in this deck that is specifically says your leader needs to be Whitebeard. Honestly, you can run Ace if you want. But there's not enough events for that. But anyway, so we're running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 2k counters. And for the finale here, we are running our events. So guard points really went up in price recently. So if you could run 3 to 4, I recommend it. One Dawn for 3k counter. That's pretty good. Next up is Radical Beam. Once again, it is another card that has been lifted from the ban. So if you can find them, pretty powerful, do it. It's a little bit more power. Instead of 3,000, you get 4,000 defense, but they have the caveat of having to have 2 or less life cards, which isn't that hard to do for the most part. So yeah, do that. Do it. I will do it. And the effect here is the same thing. Straw Hat, and they're both Straw Hats. They're both the same freaking card. And the last card here, Diable Jambe. I'm only running run 1. I recommend at least 2. 1 to 2. This has won me so many games. Pretty much select up to one of your Straw Hat crew leaders or characters, so it's really good with Luffy, or good with the Luffy Rush. And then your opponents can't activate blockers. Pretty nice. The effect doesn't really go off that often, but it's good enough. So yeah, that is the deck. I have a couple of videos where I actually play this deck, and to some pretty good success. You can see how it goes. So let me know what you guys think down below, and we'll come back with more videos. If I ever make a new iteration of this leader, I'll make sure to post it there. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.